Aloha and welcome to Java. Thank you all for joining me again today. It is for Wednesday, April 10th, 2024, better known for us as CPI Day, since that is the data that we'll be watching. It's across the boards, and let's go into it. So, as I said, this is going to be the main thing. So I put out the numbers. Looks pretty much like a sea of green at the moment. However, none of this is going to matter because the reports are coming out at 8:30. So currently, risk indicator 281.8. We're going to be keeping an eye on the relative strength of the dollar as well as the 10-year yield. So at the moment, those are getting a slight bit of a pullback, retracing. So we're still in the greed territory at the moment. Sentiment obviously is the CPI. It is before market open. So I want to put out a couple of reminders if you are a trader, especially if you're new. There's a saying and there's reason for it. First move is usually severe and it's usually wrong and will correct. And also that with these reports, somebody always knows first. So with that, let's take a look. We are going to watch what happens with them as this comes out. But I had that picture up there for a reason. Today also is the end of a holiday. Basically, it is the end of Ramadan, which is holy month. So I'll go more into why that is up here because I think that's something also to watch. So at 8:30 a.m. now, U.S. markets open 9:30. You can get into early trading, but we are watching this report 8:30 and see how it reacts. The CPI, core CPI. Then we're getting a Fed president to speak right after. And they normally do this so that in case anything goes to an extreme in any direction, they can manage it with what they're saying. So 10 a.m., we get wholesale inventories. We're also getting another Fed president. Goolsbee is speaking 12:45, and the minutes of the FOMC meeting from March. So very interesting day. I expect high volatility, particularly at the open. So yeah, try not to get any FOMO, and I wish you all luck with this. So going into a few more things with central banks. So NASDAQ, Dow, S&P is this first one. They were moving lower along with yields. However, this morning, it appears they're moving a bit higher, at least as I'm doing this. So we're going to keep a watch on what the effect is on that 8:30 report. I had something else interesting. China's sovereign credit has now been downgraded by Fitch rating agency. So this is an American backed rating agency, and it has an effect across their currency. So Beijing saying they're disappointed with that decision. Well, of course, because it wins against them. However, I just want to remind you that the rating agencies are number one, for profit, and number two, look who is giving them the bulk of their profit. It's basically, in my opinion, a mobster run deal to where they can affect rating agencies if you don't do what they like. So, moving on with this, we're going to the Bank of Japan saying that they will not alter their policy to respond directly to the weakening yen. We've been speaking about the Bank of Japan because that could create ripple waves throughout the market as well. And I would also like to say that I'm sorry, I don't mean any disrespect, but this is not correct and it's not true, because if the yen makes severe moves, it is exactly their job to step in and respond and alter their policy or do what they need to do in order to push the direction that they want to. And we all know the agenda behind it is bigger than what they're saying. So this is just a news media flash for them to try to manage it. They need to take a few more lessons from the Fed in how to manage things with what you say. So we've also got European Central Bank. Markets kind of looking towards that because the June rate cut, we've been talking about this for a while now, is that they have to watch the relative currencies, and they're also concerned with the price of oil. So looking at this inflation, it's something that they're going to have to manage in the larger picture now. It's not just about rates. So moving forward with energy and commodities, because this is a large driver. So the U.S. told Kiev Ukraine not to attack Russian oil depots. So they're already really worried about fuel prices, and they should show the truth behind it is their actions and not just what they say, because they're saying they're fine with the oil. They've got their strategic reserve, which has been depleted actually, and saying that we're fine because of that. With this ongoing war, it's a tremendous drain on oil, and what they've done is basically shot themselves in the foot, so to speak, between sanctioning Russia, trying to push the prices of oil, and really what they were trying to do is push it down for themselves so they could continue this war. But what they've done is black market has pushed Russian oil up. They're getting booming profits from this, and no one is asking through all of this. Multiple countries funding Ukraine to fight this war and keep them in weapons. Who has been supporting Russia? First question. Secondly, that they don't necessarily need a lot of support. So they've gotten some weapons from North Korea officially and out there. However, they have not needed all of the support that Ukraine is getting. So I just want to put that as food for thought. So moving forward again, back to basically inflation data, we're going back to electricity. The utilities are bracing in the US for a surge in power demand from data centers, is basically because of the AI push, but also because of cryptocurrencies. So it was evil not long ago when it was used for cryptocurrencies, but the AI thing, it's okay to push that. So as we're seeing, the Russian oil, once again, trading far above what the G7 tried to price cap, and it's just not working. That $60 barrel is worthless as far as putting that cap in. So with all of this, one of the true commodities, gold, is near record high. We're going to be watching that as well. So some of these things should have a pullback. However, I expect them long term to continue. Why? Because this is really inflation and deflation of the relative strength of the US dollar. So if you look at it larger picture, they're talking about inflation. No one is arguing that it will continue because it will continue. It's just the rate and how fast it continues, well above 2% still. So I did put this back in as a reminder, and I know it's under commodities, but it fits in with the energy and also shows the back end that the wallet with over $2 billion has got over 30,000 Bitcoin. And they've done test transfers. This United States, the Bitcoin that they seized, and they're going to use this as backup. They need liquidity, they need money, they're in trouble. So going back into why I had that picture on the beginning and talking about, again, Ramadan, because what happened is they had stated that they would retaliate. And they said they would within 48 hours, but I think that was a misinterpretation. So basically, they were still within the period of their holy month of Ramadan. That has ended as of today. So as that ends today, I just want to put out this reminder to be cautious of crowds and to be aware, because that warning has not been fulfilled yet, and they are not the type to let it go. So as we've got these headlines of the world condemning the Israeli strike on the Iranian embassy in Damascus. So we've got more of the story behind that. And as the Ayatollah says, that basically they consider Damascus part of Iranian territory. So they're saying that they've struck them directly as far as they are concerned. They made these remarks they had a huge speech, which is what that photo was of, and just heightened security. So they've got over 100,000 security. This is in Pakistan, but I think there's more to it, and we should keep an eye on that. The mainstream media in the United States not reporting this really at all. So with this, we've got an artificial intelligence operated fighter jet flying the Air Force Secretary. Basically, they're doing a test. It's proving what's going on with full drone warplanes. So why is he in the fighter jet? I don't know. I think it's probably more of a joyride, to be honest with you. However, the future drone warplanes, they're looking at arming these. They've got thousands of them, and they're much less expensive to deploy. And so they're kind of looking forward with all of this war that they're stoking by design. They've got to keep the GDP going, and keep the economy going whatever way is necessary. So at any rate, because I think they know that if they start spilling blood, more American blood, there will be actual uprising. So with that, we will be watching these markets this morning, going to be very volatile, should be a very interesting day. So if you are a trader, I'm wishing you a green day, but all of my friends to you, I wish you just a wonderful day in general. Stay free.